Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the July 13th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Judge McClure, will you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Sure. Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Rebecca McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Here.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes or edits to the minutes? I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
The motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, now move on to department head reports. First up is Police Department, Chief Morgan. Just giving advice a long time ago, never outwalk my introduction, so. Just kidding, Chief. Go ahead.
All right. Good evening. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 982 calls for service. In that same time frame, 24 people were arrested for the following crimes: 6 for domestic battery, 5 for operating while intoxicated, 6 for warrants, 1 for possession of meth, 2 for dealing in marijuana, 1 for dealing cocaine, 1 for battery, 1 for driving while suspended, 1 for armed robbery. A total of 25 handgun carry licenses were sent off to the state for the final approval. July 10th through the 12th, Officer Austin McCloskey attended the gun sight pistol course we hosted at LPD. It was put on by gun sight, but at our range. And then with the virus still going on, most of the classes are shut down, most of the facilities and stuff. So we're still continuing to do online training. For an example, several of our officers have done bias and diversity training, some firearms tactics, and some defensive tactics principles. All of these were done online through either Lexipol or Moyer Consulting. And that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Morgan?
Yeah, Chief, 982 calls for service, is that high?
Not for a normal, it's not. Not this time of year, it's not. It's normal, or it's high compared to the last several, but it's not normally high.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, Chief. All right, next up is Fire Department, Chief Batts.
I'm walking up slowly.
You're right.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Works meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 161 emergency calls of service. We've logged 354 training hours and performed 101 site and commercial inspections. On June 27th, engineers Tyler Aguirre and John Thompson received their state certifications in driver operator for pumpers. On June 25th, Chad Hale completed his state certification for fire officer strategy and tactics, and he is now enrolled in the state certification for instructor 1. Real happy with Chad's progress. He's doing a great job for us. These are base certifications for Chad to move up within the department, looking to become a ride-out officer. So very happy with that. Throughout the month of July, firefighters are training on our new yard lay standard operating guideline. Just briefly, yard lays are a way to deploy large amounts of hose. We'll use these in the industrial park when setbacks are greater than 50 feet for homes, many homes over 3,000 square feet. We've messed around, toyed with the idea with yard lays before. It's always kind of been an afterthought for us, but we decided that we were going to get serious about it, put together a great SOG, and crews are out practicing them, and we're ready to implement it. So looking forward to that. And then unfortunately on Saturday, July 11th at 1 a.m., a working house fire came in Harrison Township. This was a vacant property that had no electricity to it. The fire was intentionally set. If anyone has any information, we ask that you contact the Lebanon Fire Department at 765-482-8827 or the Boone County Sheriff's Office at 765-482-1412. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything for the public? Okay. Next up is Parks Department, John Messenger.
Good evening. Hope everybody enjoyed the 4th of July. I want to thank the council on behalf of the 4th of July Executive Committee. $20,000 commitment from the council made those fireworks possible. Obviously, it was a different year this year, but boy, were they outstanding with that in the bank that helped us out with the fireworks. I hope you all got to enjoy it. It was absolutely fantastic if you're a firework lover, but they were great. It'd be hard to duplicate that now. Now the bar's been set. That's going to be the tough part. Anyway, getting back to the Parks Department report. June swim lessons went great. July swim lessons started this morning, and this evening they start. We have 60 children enrolled in our morning and evening sessions. Went great for June, and looking forward to 2 weeks of great swim lessons. Everybody should learn how to swim. Our co-ed softball league started June 14th, and the games went well. The weather hadn't cooperated the last 2 weekends, so we're hoping to get back going again this coming weekend. Colonial Market Days was held this past weekend. Huge success. Both days were very well attended, to say the least. Heard nothing but good things about down there, and they left the property in good shape. So I guess we got quite a storm on Saturday, and didn't leave mud tracks everywhere. But everybody learned quite a bit, and it was a nice event. Hope to have them back next year, and I think they already said they will be back. Seashore Water Park and the splash pad are very popular with all this 90-degree plus heat and the humidity, just to say the least. Everything's running very smoothly with the guidelines that we've set in place. Noticed quite a bit of out of traffic, or out of the residency traffic. I'd say close to 200 people a day are coming in from out of town. I get reports daily on that, and it's really interesting to see. Our twilight swim is from 4 o'clock on. We're getting roughly average 80 people every evening coming in for that, taking advantage of a little lower price. We dropped the price from $8 down to $3. So there's about 80 people that are enjoying that night swim. So we
What are the hours of that again, John, for twilight?
3 o'clock, and it depends. We opened up pool parties on Thursdays now. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we close at 6. Monday through Wednesday, we close at 7. So they get anywhere
So 3
from
to 7?
2 to 3 hours, yeah,
Okay.
2 to 3 hours to swim. 4 o'clock is when it begins, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that, and it's really nice. Finalizing our 100th year celebration for Memorial Park to take place on Friday, August 7th. We're finalizing all those. And our first annual pickleball tournament is set to be held this weekend, Saturday, and looking forward to it. Come and register in the park office, and there again, quite a turnout already, looking good for that. The mayor's helped out quite a bit on some of that. We sat down with our intern, and he's kind of guided him through there. Isaac Boatman's taking care of that internship, and Matt's got him under his wings, so that's really nice. I appreciate that. We have current park projects we're working on. Later this evening, I'll be asking the council to help us out with some engineering fees on the pool expansion. Obviously, that won't happen right away, but looking for it. Some other things we're working with at BF&S on, that's an engineering firm, on Memorial Park lighting. The utilities has helped us out with that, with the initial investment. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking at docks and bridges at the Conservation Park. BF&S is also helping us with that. Baker Tilly, excuse me, our financial people are helping us with park impact fees, and I hope to bring that to the council this coming next Board of Works and council meeting. Craig Duvall, excuse me, is helping us out with the electrochem building. Appreciate that, Rob, all your time and effort. That's coming to a close here soon, I hope. It's only a 12-year project, not from their company, but from others. Finally getting that done, and boy, the parks could use that building. Log Doctors of Eastwood down in Tennessee is looking at our restoration of our cabin, giving us some prices there. And Little Tykes Playground, we're working on that. We did receive some money or will be receiving some money from Rotary to help us out with that project too. They raised the money already and got their grant, so looking forward to that, helping us out to add to our parks playground system. Excuse me. And also received some grant money for 2 picnic tables made out of recycled material. Want to appreciate the solid waste for that grant money too. They've helped us out on several projects, and really nice to have that. And that's pretty much all I had.
Thank you, John. Any questions from the board?
What time does the pickleball tournament start?
There again, Matt. To be quite honest, the weather doesn't look really encouraging right now, but you can check it out on our website, and unfortunately Allison had to step out early, so I don't have all those numbers. It's early in the morning, I'm sure.
Early in the morning.
It's going to be I think you're assured 3 to 5 games? Well, not 5 games.
I think 5 games. Yeah,
5
pool play
games
and
for
then,
sure.
yeah.
You going to be out there, Dick?
Won't be playing, but
Oh, come on, man.
No,
There you go.
I'm
Yeah.
working on some knees right now, so I'll be out to watch.
There you go, but no, it's looking, I tell you, if you've been by the parks, either one of them, those pickleball courts are full at all hours, day and night, or morning and night, so
Good.
I think it's been a very well-received addition to the park system.
Good.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the board? Anything for the public? Okay, thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be the engineering department. Kevin Krulik.
Good evening. Engineering report for July 13th. Downtown projects, wrapping up a couple of things actually happening today. I want to thank the street department for that. We've got our final 2-hour parking limit signs up on Meridian Street. So those went in earlier today. Got a couple more to put up on 39, and then that will wrap up that. As of right now, I don't have an update for you on when we're going to wrap up the landscaping improvements. There's a few miscellaneous dead trees and shrubs that have to be replaced. I'm just dealing with a contractor schedule there and not getting a whole lot of cooperation. So, but needless to say, our final pay applications are still in draft form, and they will be until we get those final shrubs replaced. Also happy to report, many have complained about some of the rough manhole castings on West Main Street. Those have all been adjusted over the last few days.
Oh, good.
So you'll notice a little smoother ride as you go through there. So yeah, we're nearing the end here. Really, we're just down to a few miscellaneous landscaping warranty replacements, as well as 3 minor drainage repairs that have to be done to eliminate some low spots in curbing. And that will put a bow on that. Indianapolis Avenue Phase 2, all that work, the seeding, the sodding, the site cleanup that was outstanding when we last met, that has now been completed. There is still probably some cleanup left to do, some miscellaneous things. We're just waiting to coordinate our final walkthrough with the contractor to begin that punch-out list and begin working on fully wrapping things up and getting them to final pay applications. But that should be happening in the coming days. Pavement resurfacing programs, our community crossing projects. On a sad note, I should say that Phase 2 or Round 2 of 2020 applications have been, at least for now, temporarily delayed. We'll see what the state does with the final decision there. But that application was supposed to open up last week and close out in about a month, and they did not release that application due to complications and budget constraints associated with COVID. We have, I believe, 7 remaining manhole adjustments to do on our pavement resurfacing program, and then those projects will all be complete. Striping contractors should begin work this week on miscellaneous striping of resurfacing projects from this year, as well as a couple from last year and a couple of just miscellaneous striping projects throughout the city. So be a lot of striping beginning to go down in the coming days. I think that's it on our resurfacing programs. State Road 32 resurfacing, again, not our project, but trying to keep everybody as informed as possible. Working with the contractors for the state as well as the state. I've got a few schedule updates. Originally, sidewalk ramps were supposed to be wrapped up by June 26th. That schedule as of 7/7 has extended sidewalk ramp replacements out till July 22nd, with some miscellaneous curb replacements extending out till August 5th, excuse me. The I-65 bridge resurfacing has been extended to July 9th. So that's, obviously that's wrapped up at this point, but that was originally supposed to be done in early to mid-June. Asphalt patching actually is ahead of schedule with that wrapping up on the 16th. That's the deep patching that you saw happening a lot last week. Milling of Line A, which is essentially from the business park to a little east of Patterson Street. That was originally supposed to be completed by June 24th, and it has now been extended out to July 22nd. Surfacing on that phase of the project will start on July 22nd and go through July 27th. That's about a month later than the original schedule that we were provided. And then asphalt milling on the remainder of the project all the way to the east side of the city was supposed to be done by August 24th, is still planned to be done by August 24th, but it's supposed to be stretched out a little further, starting on August 3rd as opposed to August 19th. And then the surfacing of those eastern parts of the project, that schedule has also been extended out. The surfacing is to take place August 25th through the 27th. Electrical work is supposed to start on 7/27 and wrap up on 8/21. That's actually a little bit ahead of schedule, but definitely a modified schedule. And then striping is scheduled to begin on August 27th and run through September 4th. That is actually a shortened schedule. The entire project is still supposed to be complete on September 14th. So a lot of dates there. We'll try to do a Facebook post for everybody so people can see those and be more informed of what's happening. But I will say those schedules change almost daily. So it's a lot going on there, a lot out of our control. Sidewalk replacement program, I believe we're up to 12 or 13 applications now. We got 3 new applications in last week on the cost share program. We're probably about over $50,000 in sidewalk expenditures just through the cost share program for this year. So we're well on track to spending that money. The cost share replacements as well as ADA repairs are all well underway at this point. We are still also then working on Lafayette Avenue, Witt Road, and Riley Road on those right-of-way acquisitions and negotiations. We hope to move those things forward and finalize those before the end of the month is my plan, and be ready to build those sidewalks this fall so that we can get all those things put back into place. Witt Road Bridge, I do have a set of preliminary plans now. You're welcome to come review those if you want to see what the Witt Road Bridge will look like. It's a fairly straightforward utilitarian bridge, but you can take a look at that. We will do some decorative railings on that, similar to the Garfield Street Bridge that was done a few years ago. But we're talking about a simple 3-sided concrete box. Utility coordination and preliminary field check meetings have been set for July 21st. Moving that forward. Unfortunately, we were planning to submit that for community crossings, but we have the money to move that forward, and we'll just plan to keep that on the same schedule, which is for next year, and we'll see what happens with either a modified schedule for round 2 of 2020 community crossings, or the first call in 2021 is probably more likely where we'll be ready to submit for, which would be in January typically.
Hey, Kevin, quick question on that. Can we, if we start, I know we've already started the project, but if we haven't actually physically started construction on the project, can we still submit that? Like, what's the deadline on submitting it for community crossings?
I'd have to look at the details on that. Usually, I don't know exactly what the rules say when, if you can have started a project before the submittal. I would assume you can't, but since we won't really plan to start till next spring, I don't think that'll be a problem for us to go in for the January call. Now, we were planning to bid it in December. It might mean we need to modify our bidding schedule and look to, say, February or March, but I think we can still keep it on the same schedule. Whatever we do, we'll make sure we're compliant with those call rules as they go forward.
Yeah, that'd be great.
A couple other things, Big Four Trail, we have signed a contract with our consultants Kimley Horn to do some pavement assessments. What we're really trying to do is figure out what is causing and how we fix some of the heaving that you see if you walk the Big Four Trail, especially west of Sam Ralston. If you ride on your bike, you got some good bike jumps there, but that's not what we want. We want a smooth surface there. We think it has to do primarily with the road bed, or the railroad bed slag material that was left in place, and we were built on top of that. It's a very porous, very expansive material that will expand with high water conditions. But we're going to look into that in more detail and figure out how we fix those things. Grant Street project, the William Street storm sewer outlet for the Grant Street project is underway. I'll remind you that is under contract with J.R. Bowling for $108,643.50, and happy to report that work started today. They started taking down trees today. They'll probably try to lay pipe tomorrow. Again, the plan is to be open, have those roads open for the start of school. And they're relatively small projects anyway. It shouldn't take too long. There may be some intermittent traffic closures as they work in the intersection of Ann and William Street, but we'll keep everybody posted as those comes up and as those schedules are finalized. Fordyce Road, the drainage design study was, last time I was here, we had received that and we were reviewing that. We've sent our comments back to the consultants, and we have now received a response earlier this afternoon. So we're working on looking through those responses and wrapping that up. We're also working with the consultant on full design proposals to get that project ready to go and ready to bid. We're also working with Baker Tilly, the city's financial advisors, to look at funding strategies for Fordyce Road and then the 2 phases of Grant Street that would complete Grant Street all the way down to Indianapolis Avenue. So more to come on those. On the bike park site, we are working on wrapping up concept plans and more detailed site development plans for our item submittals. We are also beginning to coordinate some of our design criterias with Boone County. Obviously, that project is in the county's jurisdiction, so we have to look to the county for drainage approvals as well as sewer and water approvals. Sunbrook Phase 1, we have performance bond releases for your consideration later this evening. So I have to report Phase 1 is all complete, including the off-site utilities, and we'll discuss some of those performance bond releases later in the meeting. That's all I have.
And Kevin, any questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up, Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. Planning Department activity over the last, I guess it's 3 weeks since the last meeting. We completed an additional 63 building inspections, so that still remains strong. And I think one of those weeks our inspector was out of town, so we had a reduced schedule. So again, a lot of building activity going on right now, primarily in the residential sector. We did issue 38 new building permits, including 2 new residential homes, so that continues to remain strong. Kind of looking out over the rest of the year, Riley Ridge has been very active the last year and a half, but they're starting to run out of lots, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of a slowdown the rest of this year because we just don't have our inventory starting to dry up again. But I do expect that's going to return next year with some additional residential neighborhoods coming online. So I do think we'll continue to see strong demand in the residential product. Code enforcement operations, again, continue to remain very active. A lot of during the summertime, grass and weeds does slow down a little bit because we're not getting any rain, but we're still pretty active there. And then trash and debris also takes up a lot of time. We did have a unique one over the last few weeks we're checking on. I know a lot of people have noticed that we've had some food vendors that have popped up around town. Those are permitted, but they are required to receive a temporary use permit. So we've been checking in on those and make sure everybody gets their permits in place so we can track how long they're there, because there is a limited amount of time that they can be at that location. So we are checking up on all those, getting them all squared away so we can make sure we can track their timing and make sure that they're all permitted appropriately. Just another quick note on the new positions in the planning department for the assistant planner and building inspector. We are completing the last of our interviews this week and expect and hope to make offers before the end of the month. with the goal to have them both filled by probably the end of September at the latest. So we are getting those filled and expect to be up and running full speed before the end of the year on all that. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? Anything for the public? Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's everybody doing? Good. Anyway, we've been busy mowing easements and properties that are in code violation. We've got, I'm going to say 2 or 3 of those right now we're doing every week, or not every week, just when needed. Our sweeper will be out this week. It wasn't out last week. We had some other things going on. We should be filling some potholes this week as well. I've been super busy with some storm drain repairs. Had the guys out today cleaning off catch basins because, you know, the rain coming on, I'm sure we're going to need that. We had, like Kevin mentioned, putting up the 2-hour parking signs. We're still busy putting up our new street signs as well. We're keeping that going still as well. The striping company, as Kevin mentioned, should be here midweek. They got a little behind when it rains. You know, obviously they stop where they're doing, so other communities. But we're still out painting the curbs and the hydrants and for the parking around town, so that's going pretty good. We've had a lot of people noticing that and actually taking it pretty good, better than we thought. We were very busy last week, the second week of the month, so we ran 2 chippers. Thanks to the Park Department for loaning us their chipper, and thank goodness. I don't know if we'd have made it through without it, but we had every crew member on it except for Craig and Tom. They were floaters for me since they were my foreman. They, you know, because we stayed pretty busy ourselves, but we were all out. We did take 36,760 pounds of chips to lambs, if that tells you anything, and we ain't had a storm for quite a while. So, but we stayed pretty busy. On a good note, I did see CSX working on the Lafayette Avenue Bridge today.
Good.
Had probably 3 or 4 guys down there. Me and Craig seen them. That's about all I got this week.
You said 37,000 pounds of...
Pretty much, yeah, 36,760, yeah. So it's 37,000 pounds of chips. That's how much brush we had out.
Okay.
A lot of chips.
That is a lot of chips. A lot of mulch, a lot of
Yeah,
free
it's a lot
mulch.
of
All right, any questions from the board for Dave? Any questions from the public? Okay. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Communications, Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. I get to talk about art beautification and lots of it this evening. If you've been on the Big 4 Trail near the main trailhead, near Menards, you've seen work that's underway on the I-65 Big 4 Trail mural. The priming has been complete on the north side, which is the locomotive side of the mural. On the south side, it's nearly complete. It's a multi-rectangular, multicolored, beautiful mural that is happening all day, pretty much every day, 5 days a week. Tying up some loose ends, some touch-up paint, also treatment on both sides will be next, and also some security measures that we've told you about and others we are not, to help keep that mural safe and preserved for what we hope is a very long time. Speaking of murals, we have made a decision on the second mural of the CSX underpasses. The first one, of course, will be on Camp Street, Hoy Avenue, near Harney Elementary. We've kind of talked about that last time around. The second will be near where Prairie Industries used to be. It goes underneath it's on the Big 4 Trail that goes under the CSX rail line there. That is where the Youth Council has decided to put their mural, the one that was brought before first the Historic Preservation, and then kind of had some periphery conversations with the Parks Board. It will now be on the Big 4 Trail as part of our CSX project. And so we applied for the use and the beautification of 5 murals. So we have 1.5. One will be the kind of the one over by Harney, and then half the one will be the Youth Council concept. And so we look forward to working with area artists to continue to figure out and flesh out ideas and designs for those underpasses. Also, big thanks to our Parks Department and their work with our tiger statues. If you go downstairs right now, there's only one that is there, and he hasn't been painted yet, hasn't been accounted for yet. The other tigers that are going to city buildings have been taken out, with the exception of one that's gone to Gilman Home Center. have been taken out to the Parks Department. John, the team really jumped on the ball there to be able to take care of that and run with it for us. And so as far as coming with the concrete base, and also the ceiling, the seal coat that has been put on the Tigers, the Parks Department has really stepped up and helped us out with that. The Tigers will be placed soon, and so there'll be a couple going to fire stations. The Parks Department gets several at Seashore Water Park, Abner Longley Park as well, and the basketball courts here in the municipal building will also have one. And so several will be around our community, and many thanks to have that happen. After they're placed, we'll also be having some informational plates that will be added to those Tigers, kind of giving an update on why the Tiger was painted the way that he or she was painted, and then also kind of giving some props to our artists that painted it. And so I want to be able to do that. And finally this evening, many thanks to our clerk treasurer's office. A physical location has been determined for our Shop Love in Lebanon location. You may have seen it online, and you may have seen it at various events. This is the promotional clothing line, for lack of a better phrase, that we've rolled out to help have the city have walking billboards for its shoppers to have quality products that tout Lebanon, and also our area nonprofits be able to have some funding as well. And so after meeting with Lou Ann and John, kind of talking with them about having it set up at Callens, so we're going to do that in the near future. Inventory and display, that's kind of still being worked out, but folks from the clerk treasurer's office are able to call and get some unique information for our unique little concept that we're doing to be able to have things on the up and up, but continue to operate that store legally. And so I want to be able to do that, and obviously have that in our community as something that we want to do to support not only Lebanon, but also its nonprofits as well. And so still taking some inventory, still working on some things kind of behind the scenes before the shop is rolled out, but it will be there in physical location downtown at Callan Drug. So many thanks to them for allowing it to happen there and seeing what we want to do from that standpoint.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Any questions for the public? Okay, thank you, sir. That concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board?
No.
Okay, I'll move on to new business then. First item up is a street closure request for the treat trot. This is also Joe.
Why didn't I just stay up here? Excited to announce that with the buzz that has happened with our downtown and also our trail system, we were reached out to via email from Go Run Indy, an organization that does various runs, 5Ks, 10Ks, competitive and fun jogs throughout the Indianapolis and its donut counties. And so they had a concept for the treat trot, as mentioned, coming up. They want to do it on July 24th. And it does not coincide whatsoever with Mischief on Meridian or any of the other races around Halloween. This is rather to coincide with National Ice Cream Day. And so the folks, the organizers with Go Run Indy have solicited fun days, and so and some other food trucks as well to be kind of their in the vicinity of where the race happens. And speaking of where the race happens, I brought both the 5K and the 10K maps so folks can see. Go. So at the top of your map, you will see Lebanon Memorial Park here. And so the race route will take us south down East Street and then west on Washington, and kind of skirting our downtown area, then going out to the Big Four Trail. The goal being that the mural would be at least near completion then, so there would be some pretty pictures to be able to be seen. Those running the 5K will make the circle there, and to be able to come down and be able to run on the Big Four Trail, head downtown, and then head right back up, the way they came back to Memorial Park. The 10K route is just a little bit further, but it also just touts what, oops, my bad. It touts what our Big Four Trail has to offer, and so that the route is the same, and so that the race will start at the same time. Those wanting a little bit more distance, we'll just proceed a little bit further on the Big Four Trail before making the turnaround. And so the time for that event is 6 p.m. until 8 p.m., and that is on a Friday. Those still wishing to sign up can do so. We just posted a story on our website, lebanon.in.gov. It's $40 to sign up. You get a commemorative shirt. You get one of the fun medals that you get at 5Ks and different events. One of the organizers will be reaching out to our police department soon. The race route, and typically the way these races go, there isn't a hard closure of streets. The only thing that they ask is, if we can take the map again, guys, when the race does begin, it leaves Memorial Park. There will be a lot of runners leaving at that time, and so when those racers leave, traffic may be briefly stopped along Uland Drive, but then things will pick back up as normal as all the racers descend in a southerly direction headed towards downtown. And so as far as blocking off streets, things like that, it's what's called a rolling closure, where the runners know that the traffic still goes, and so the cross streets, we've encouraged them to use our beautiful trail that's right there, our linear park right there on East Street. And so the organizer is going to, later on this week, we're going to be walking and driving the race route. And so I wanted to be able to have a better idea of what exactly that whole race looks like. They bring their own volunteers. A lot of those things, a lot of the setup will happen within the park, kind of off the main drag, so no one will be hindered in any way. But seeking Board of Works approval to at least have some conversations with the members of the police department, Chief Morgan and Brad, to be able to kind of lay things out of how things look in a safe manner. Again, not hard closing any of the streets. Those are main thoroughfares, and so would never imagine to do that for an event, a first-time event like this. But at the same time, wanting to be able to stop traffic briefly, to whatever they do. Since it's National Ice Cream Day, they may have a big scoop that drops from, I don't know, and the sound that's made for the runners to begin. And so then again, after that, traffic would go as normal. And so, but would request permission to have the conversation with police and be able to have everyone as safe as possible for this event. I think it speaks a lot of our community where we're being sought out. We didn't solicit this race. We were actually contacted to be part of it because of the things that are happening here. So kind of exciting.
Any questions for Joe concerning the rolling closure request for the treat trot? Okay. We'll entertain a motion to approve the rolling closure for the treat trot on July 24th between 6 and 8 o'clock p.m.
I make a motion, we approve the rolling street closure for the 5K and 10K on Friday, July the 24th from Memorial Park South and West.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate you coordinating that with the police department. Okay, next up is a surplus items request for the street department. Dave Newell.
Back again. Yeah, we got some pieces of equipment that's just outdated. We need to get rid of and ready for the season when they do come. The first one you might see is a Case 580L. It's a 1997 backhoe that's just went down on us. Biggest importance of this one is it's our two backhoes for salt. If our backhoe goes down at 2 o'clock in the morning and we can't load trucks, so that's a huge problem for us. We're trying to resolve there with that one and just update equipment really with that. You want them all or?
Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself. That's fine. Yep.
The other four pieces of equipment are our leaf machines. You can see some of them are 1995. I think they got it through a grant program years ago, well, back in probably 95. I think the newest one is 2009, which they purchased used at the time, so we're just updating that equipment. We had a lot of problems last year with it, and that's a huge season for us. Leaf season is a big thing we offer to the community, and it's just time to update them because we don't have technicians now, and finding people to work on those is pretty tough. So
Okay.
it's time to update.
Bill, I know you have all the forms on the surplus request. Anything else you want to add?
Everybody has a copy of the forms. David has a copy, so
Okay.
you're good.
Any questions from the board from Dave or for Dave or for Bill? Okay. This time I would entertain a motion to declare the backhoe surplus.
I make a motion, we approve the Case backhoe for surplus.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that is approved. And then, just to be clear for the public, we're purchasing a new backhoe, so that's going to be traded in? That's what we'll
it'll
do?
be traded in. We've got our three bids and on all this equipment. We've done all of our bid work and all that. It's all, we're just, we got a cart before the horse on the sweeper when we did it, so, and it made it a mess because they were ready and we weren't, so we're trying
Gotcha.
to do.
Fair enough.
do
Okay.
this.
And then, would entertain a motion concerning the surplus of the leaf machines.
I make a motion, we approve and surplus the leaf machines.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that has been declared surplus. All right, thank you, Dave, appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, we got to get these ordered because we won't get them in time if we don't.
It'll be leaf season pretty
Yeah.
soon to realize.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Next up is bond releases for Sunbrook Phase 1. Kevin Krulik.
Thank you. I mentioned these earlier. There are 4 performance bonds that we are suggesting to release on tonight. Again, all performance releases are based on our UDO and subject to the posting of the appropriate maintenance bonding before these sureties would actually be delivered to the developer. So the 4 subjects, topics, if you will, tonight that we are asking for release on is the performance bond for signage, for the regulatory signage for Sunbrook Section 1. And again, this is a bond, a performance bond for $5,937.50. The maintenance surety, that is 125% of the total construction value. Maintenance sureties are required to be 25% of the construction value, so they will be required to post a maintenance bond for $1,187.50. The second one is for common area sidewalks. We're only required to bond the areas of the sidewalks that cross common areas. State statute a few years ago ended the process or the procedure of bonding the miscellaneous lot sidewalks. So common area sidewalks are the only ones that were permitted to bond. The performance bond for the common area sidewalks was for $8,071.25. And the maintenance surety requirement is $1,614.25. Next is the common area asphalt pass. The performance bond we were requesting release of is for $9,625.00, subject to the posting of a maintenance bond for $1,925. And the last, but certainly not the least, the off-site sanitary sewers had a performance guarantee of $257,792.50, and the maintenance guarantee will be required to be $51,558.50.
Okay. Rob, can we do these all as one, they need to be separate, you think? That's one? Okay. Any questions for Kevin from the board? Okay. This time then I would entertain a motion to release the performance bonds for the signage, common area sidewalks, common area paths, and as well as the off-site sanitary bond pending posting of a maintenance bond for those related projects.
I make a motion, we approve the performance bonds for this project.
We have a motion to release. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, those have been released. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes what I have for new business on my agenda. Is there anything from the board? Okay. Any announcements or discussion? Okay, move on to claims then. We'll entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I'll make a motion we approve the claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, claims are approved. And now we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Thought that we wanted to leave. All right, motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, July 27th at 6:15. It's the second meeting of the month, so it's a little bit later, 6:15 p.m. on July 27th. We'll see you then. Redevelopment Commission is up next.